We live.
Here we
We
go.
live.
Hey,
We
we're
live.
live.
Hey.
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 Happy Friday. Happy
Happy
Happy.
Friday.
Friday.
Uh. Yeah.
Here we
What's
go,
up,
y'all.
man? How you doing? Welcome to the crew. How you feeling? Hi.
Waiting for some folks to come on in. We waiting for
Come
some
on into
folks
the
to
Yeah.
come on in.
space.
Hey, waiting for some folks to come on in. Come on in.
Yes.
Hey, come
Go
on
ahead,
in.
Nee.
Waiting for some
Hey.
little rapper looking. Little rapper.
You
I got
know.
bars.
Come
I got
on. Come on. Drop them bars. Drop them bars, bro.
Woo!
What's
Woo,
up,
happy Friday,
Gwen?
What's a
y'all.
guan? What's going
Woo.
on, ladies?
Yeah.
Let's start my watch party.
Mm-hmm. What's going on?
Yeah.
Life, honey. Life is
Life.
happening.
Life is
Life is
happening.
happening.
Fast, quick.
I'll tell
And
you.
But
in a
also, it's
hurry.
been beautiful. I can't.
It has been.
Exactly.
I have been
Exactly.
feeling blessed and highly favored
You
in the
better
Lord.
Yes.
sing it. Start singing.
So
Okay.
I'm just saying,
And that's a
life has
beautiful
been
thing.
good. Absolutely. How y'all feeling? How was your week?
It's been a good week. It's been a
Okay.
hard week emotionally, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just like you were saying, like you feel blessed and highly favored. I feel very blessed as well, even though things
Mhm.
feel uncomfortable right now. I feel like I'm
Mhm.
growing so much from that discomfort. And,
Mhm.
Raj and I have been talking a lot this week about that. And
Mhm.
it's really been beautiful. I don't know if I would have had these types of awakenings or just whatever, just coming more into my own without this whole situation.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
there's been some great strides this week. There's been some not so great ones, but all in all, like I'm just grateful to be living through this craziness and like taking it one day at a time and
Yes.
powering
Yeah.
through and actually coming out on the other side kind of dope. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
how
mean,
about
cause you
y'all?
know you powerful.
Honey, we are. We are. And I started a new breathing meditation this week from this guy
Mm-hmm.
called Wim Hof. You ever
Okay.
heard of
Okay,
him?
can you talk about
I have
that though?
not.
Because girl,
Yes.
yeah.
So I don't
Tell
know
us
if
more.
any of our viewers, which hello everybody, I see some
Hey,
folks are tuned
Hey
everybody.
in.
everybody. Welcome,
Happy
welcome.
Friday.
Welcome Renee. Welcome
Share with
Valerie. I
somebody.
see
Tell a
y'all.
friend.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Send
We
us a
hope
little
y'all got
wave
something to sip
emoji.
on.
Yes.
Right.
Send
Mm-hmm.
us a little wave emoji.
Yeah, send a wave emoji so we know y'all here. We know the love is real,
That
you
you with
know.
us.
Yeah.
That you with
Mm-hmm. Hey
us.
Stefan, I see you. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so you were
Yes.
talking about this breathing though.
So yes,
Mhm.
there's this man, and his name is Wim Hof. I think he's in his early 60s now. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of him, but he goes by the name the Iceman because
Mm-hmm.
he has this really insane ability to be able to um, change his core body temperature when he's submerged in ice water. So he has
Wow.
the Guinness Book World Record for longest anything in any extreme cold. So he's
Mm-hmm.
taken like 2 hour ice baths and his core temperature does not change, y'all.
That's
He has
Mind
crazy
is
to
a
me.
powerful thing, fam.
mind.
Yeah.
He has
Mm-hmm.
climbed Mount Everest with literally one like a pair of shorts and that's it.
Stop playing.
Swear to
Mm-mm-mm.
God,
What?
girl, you have to go check him out. You know that death zone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that everybody
Mm-hmm.
talks about. That's where most people
What
die when
everybody
climbing.
dies on.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, and
Okay.
he's running through the death zone with his drawers on, like, hey,
Damn.
Not
like,
with the
Okay.
draws.
like they look, girl, they're like boxers. He's like
Wow.
That's
running,
wild. I gotta
and
check this dude out. Okay.
he does not get cold. He does not get
Mm-hmm.
cold. He has the record for like swimming the longest under the Arctic, holding his breath for the longest, and he swims under the glaciers, y'all.
He's a
And
Mm.
metahuman.
yeah, he
Wow.
is. He is.
Like
But
legit.
but his whole thing is like people think that it's he's fake, but he's like I've taught 12 other people to do exactly what I
Right.
do. So he teaches these classes. He lives in Poland and he teaches his
Mm.
classes on his breathing technique. And Aaron and I started doing his breathing technique, y'all, and it is insane. Like it's literally
Mm.
10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and at the last round, you hold your breath for a minute 30 seconds, and you'll
Girl,
be
and when you did
surprised.
that, I couldn't get to the minute. Like I got a good 45. Okay, I got a good 45
But
seconds
that's
in me.
good. That's good because the average person can only do like what 15, 20 seconds before they feel like. So it's something that you can work your way up to. But his belief is that if we get really in tune with our minds and tap into that portion of our brain that's not being activated right now, we literally have all the power, and that we can live anxiety and fear-free lives, because he doesn't like anxiety doesn't even exist for him. He says only power exists for him. So that's been really cool, and I would love to send that to you.
Can you
Carrie.
say that one more time?
What his name is?
Wim.
Oh yes, and say that.
W-I-M, and his last name is Hof, H-O-F. And this guy, man, it's like just his breathing techniques have been really transformative.
What was that
quote?
What was that thing you said about anxiety, though?
Yeah, so somebody asked him, how do you know? I feel like anxiety and fear are normal reactions to the human experience. How do you navigate, your own anxiety and fear? And he said, there is no anxiety, there is no fear, there is only power.
Only power.
And I was like,
I mean, we're made up of energy. We are nothing but power if we know how
to tap into it.
Absolutely.
And he really believes that you can live an anxious-free, fearful, like a fear-free life.
I believe that too. Yeah,
I do too. Yeah,
it's just the way that we're conditioned. It's hard to come out of those spaces. But I remember the first time I really started to like learn about dissociative identity disorder, and how like literally when people that have DID are in different personalities, their body chemistry changes. Like that ain't nothing but the power of your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they will get stronger, or they'll like literally, they've done research where the chemistry, like the molecules in their body shift. And I'm just like, yo, that's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
And how many times have you heard about people who have been diagnosed with cancer, and then they, they quit their jobs, they go live their lives, they go practice being in a positive space, and all of a sudden the cancer's in remission, and their body is healed. This is
absolutely
powerful.
He had doctors inject him with the Ebola virus.
Girl, wait a minute now.
He had doctors.
I don't know if I would have said yes.
Right. I was like, I believe in the power of the mind, but
listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, he did it, and they had him in the hospital, hooked up to all the machines, everything to study his brain. Within like 2 or 3 days, he reversed all his symptoms with his mind and was like healed and free to go.
Girl, no, ma'am. No.
I would not do that.
You know that pill with remember the movie Limitless, and they had that
Limitless,
that little pill.
That little pill where you could do anything. I know, like, what you selling that pill for? Like,
no. But you know what it does make me think about? Like, in this time of coronavirus, we can decide how we want to be. We can decide how we want to show up, and whether or not we are going to succumb to the fear and the anxiety that we see in the news and everywhere right now. At some point, you have to decide, okay, I'm not going to let this take me off my course. I'm not going to let it disturb my peace.
Absolutely.
That part.
So every day that we're alive is a day to celebrate. Right? Come on and sing it, Carrie. No.
Word.
But for real, that's dope, Nick.
Girl, thank you.
I just looked it up and I put it in so for those of y'all that are interested in what's going on, Arthur, good to see you, man.
Hey, Arthur.
Yes. Homie, that's the homie. For those of y'all that are interested in practicing the official Wim Hof method, kind of get your mind right. Check it out.
Right.
I'm gonna check
it out. He has a
whole
YouTube
is
channel.
Hilarious. He says, so Neo is real? You mean to tell me there's no spoon? Listen, sir. Here we go with the Matrix now. Listen. And Ellen said, "What? Wim Hof is the man." Hi, Ellen. Hi,
Ellen.
Hi, Boo.
Yeah.
No, but that's dope. Yeah.
Word. So, are we doing question of the day first?
Well, I cannot talk about how my week went. I
yes,
have some
absolutely.
Things to say. I'm so excited. Well, first, let me say, I'm going to try to say this as succinct as possible. But for the past 4 years, I really try to keep my brand separate a lot. Like, I don't talk a lot about too many things, cross promotion. But for the past 4 years, I have led this small, private, powerful wellness and empowerment group. And it was a group by another name, but we were associated with a different workout. So we decided to change our name and relaunch our program. And I am happy to announce that Black Girl Fit Club is now in existence. I'm
don't have
so
my shirt
excited
on,
about it. I know. Oh wait, yeah. Let me show out the shirt.
Show 'em, show 'em,
Hey,
show 'em.
what
I
you
got
know,
mine
what
on.
you
I
know.
got mine on.
You don't know nothing about this cuteness. But Black Girl Fit Club is your online space for all things good. It is a community. We do lead 30-day challenges, but the 30-day challenges are just to give you exercises to do for a finite period of time. But it really is about this whole community that we're building. Thank you, sis. It's about this whole community that we're building around health and wellness. Most of y'all know I have been working out. I've been losing weight. I've been getting healthy, and it's not by myself. I've been getting healthy because I belong to a group that keeps me accountable. They keep me positive. They keep me empowered and uplifted. I lead it with several coaches, and we're actually about to expand our coaching team. So I'm so excited about that. I will launch a big announcement about that soon. But I haven't always shared this with everybody because I've been so nervous about it and because I've had my own personal struggles with weight. But y'all, I feel like I've really come to understand. And hey, Coach Faraja, one of my coaches is on. I've really come to understand the power of how we have relationship with self and how it helps us or hurts us. If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, then you don't set a schedule that gives you balance. If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, then your body doesn't feel healthy and you may be overweight or underweight. If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, your nutrition isn't on point. You may not work the job that you really want to do. You may not pursue the dreams that you really want. So this is something that is so brand new. It's a purpose on my life that I feel I want to share with you all. So that's all I'm going to say about it. If you'd like to find out more about Black Girl Fit Club, please do visit the website, www.blackgirlfitclub.com. And also, our shirts go on sale tomorrow. These shirts we're selling to support the organization. So please, y'all, go online, buy a shirt. Support black girl businesses, honey, and support us. Yes, we have
T-shirts. Hips.
Okay. She got hips, she got body, you know what I'm saying?
She got body.
Yes. And I just want to shout out my two coaches, Coach Renee and Coach Faraja, who are on here. Also my husband, Ryan Landell, who helped brainchild and helped me come up with the design, and he's my marketing guru. So I love y'all. I hope you enjoy this new venture. And if you want to get healthy and you want, and you've tried a lot of things and you're not sure where to start, we have a lot of support, compassion, and love in our community. So I hope you guys come and check us out. So that's all I got to say.
Please do, ladies. And as the official member of the Black Girl Fit Club, it has literally changed my life in a lot of ways. Just, with especially now that everything that's going on and like really caring about our health, specifically Black women, we don't tend to care about ourselves in that way. And so what Raj has created is it's brilliant and it will help you. So if you're watching and you're struggling in any aspect of wellness, your mind, your spirit, your body, please click on that www.blackgirlfitclub.com, get you a t-shirt, sign up. Yes. And you will not regret it. We salute you, girl. You assistant power.
I'm excited. Thank y'all.
Yes,
awesome.
Yes.
Hey, Tania.
Oh, that's not just it. That's everything. Like I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for what you're doing, and this journey that you like. I remember when you got me into Pio, and I was getting it.
Honey,
absolutely. No, Pio was real, and so have always been like just super encouraging on each of our journeys, like with ourselves and with our bodies and our minds. So yes, salute you, sis, for real.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. I really do. And thank y'all for the love. Thank you. What's up, Arthur? Val, one of my members. I see you in here. Hey. Thank you, guys. I'm excited. Hey, Steffi.
Hey, Steffi.
Top of the Friday to you, Steffi. Come on, girl.
What we're drinking today. I'm not drinking no alcohol today right now, but what y'all drinking?
I got a margarita.
Okay. Ooh, that sounds so good.
Ooh.
I didn't have
but I did get. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead, girl.
No, I just want to let Mo know I found this thing called peanut butter whiskey.
Peanut butter whiskey?
That is, I haven't tasted it yet, but it smells delicious.
What does it smell like? Peanut butter?
It smells like peanut butter.
I bet it would make a bomb White Russian or something.
Ooh.
I don't know, but I thought about you. I'm gonna
okay,
scoop
let me
some up
know.
for
Let
you.
me know.
I got you. Yeah.
You know I'm into the
That
drinks,
sounds
honey.
good.
You know.
I ain't gonna lie, I used to love me a chocolate martini or two back in the day.
Right.
Okay.
I can
Oh
say
yeah, chocolate martini goes hard.
Steffi said, you know, I have my rosé. Listen, honey.
Yes.
I'm surprised you ain't drinking your sweet red wine, but okay, girl.
I know. Hi, Pamela.
Hey, Queen.
Welcome, y'all. I am drinking La Croix, and you better say it right, Nick. Don't be shading my seltzer, okay? La Croix and a little mango lemonade, because Mama didn't make it to the liquor store. I really wish I did have a good old glass of Prosecco right now.
Honey.
But it can still be in a cute glass. Thank you.
La Croix.
It is La Croix. La Trash.
You know what? You know what? You just shady boots tonight. Shady boots.
You know what? To everybody who likes LaCroix, God bless you.
La Croix, darling.
La Croix. Sorry.
We didn't ask
La Croix.
you, Mo.
La Croix. Y'all didn't.
Thank
Y'all
you.
didn't.
I'm just messing with you.
And I wanted to like it, but I feel like it would be banging with the mango juice.
Yes, it is banging with the mango juice, and it's also fabulous on its own. Okay, thank you very much.
Allegedly, but okay. I'm joking.
Wait, why did Stephon say he said, I feel like I'm intruding on my sister's sleepover? I'm sorry. No, you can drink with us. We welcome our male friends as well.
We got some things to talk about, you know?
Yes. But can we get back to how you be shading my La Croix, though? Because, see, let me tell you something. It is 0 calorie. You can get all different kinds of flavors. It's fabulous. You can add things to it. I mean, why are you judging my favorite seltzer on the planet?
Okay,
I enjoy it as well. So
listen, Linda.
I gotta vote.
I'm just saying.
I have a insatiable sweet tooth.
That's what the real deal is.
That I'm working on, okay? So don't give me no flavored seltzer water. I want the real thing.
Sugar.
Okay? It ain't got no sugar. Okay? I'd rather just drink water.
Ma'am,
don't give me no flavored water. It doesn't. Don't tell me it tastes like blackberry. Blackberries are sweet. Don't tell me it tastes like blackberry. Don't tell me it tastes like
blackberry. It just doesn't have the sugar. And hey, Charlie, I hear you on the cucumber,
Charlie.
Girl. Yes, girl.
Oh,
don't
honey,
listen to
cucumber.
her.
Oh, girl, bless you. Hey, Roz, how you doing, girl?
Okay. Hey, Janet. Hi, Janet. I see you, girl. What's up?
Y'all are best. What you sipping on, Mom?
Listen, I just got a little coffee, okay?
You know what?
I didn't have time to run to the liquor store, and I don't feel like drinking nothing heavy tonight.
Listen, we bring the party, no matter what
soy creamer. What'd you say? What'd you say?
Well, you said coffee with a little what? I'll say my.
No, I said you and the boo got some plans.
No, just probably relax on the couch and watch Blackish reruns.
Quarantine.
I'm with that. I'm with
Quarantine
that.
and chill. Like I've been on Blackish, y'all. Like I have not watched it all through, so I'm in like season 2 now, and I'm getting my entire life. So I'm just drinking my little coffee and enjoying the caffeine.
Well, and I was saying that no matter where we are, we bring the party, whether we drinking alcohol or not, honey. So I'm so glad y'all are here on a Friday afternoon.
You already know.
With us. So we can act up.
You already know.
Absolutely.
Shall we discuss current events, or you want to do the question of the week? What you want to do?
Yeah, you want to bring our special guest on and include her?
So we can all just, I think
that would be a little
because she always has some good stuff to say. Yes,
she does.
This is going to be very interesting. Okay. So, y'all, we have a phenomenal guest with us today. Listen, when I first heard this homegirl blow on that mic, I was like, who is that? Who is this woman? And so I remember it was at an Aretha Franklin tribute at Cervantes, and Joe Foki was there, Such was there, you know, this wonderful woman Kim Dawson was there, and there's one more as well. But I was so impressed that I was just like, yo, I just need to know you. I just need to be in your presence. Like, you just have so much power in your voice, and I just want to know, like, you know, more about your music and how we can connect. And so let me read a little bit about her. So pinning Kim Dawson into a genre or sound has been a lifelong battle for the powerhouse singer. Her versatile experience and education mean that she's had decades to hone a unique range of experiences and incorporate them all into truly genre crossing styles. Her commanding voice demands attention, yes it does, and can change the mood of a whole room. Drawing from a broad range of influences, including jazz, soul, R&B, pop, and gospel, Dawson is proud to have a truly non-conforming sound in a world full of labels. From a young age, singing in church choirs to completing her degree in opera performance, whether leading bands or performing solo, she is guaranteed to deliver a masterful act. Having recently brought her wide range and years of professional experience to a national audience as a finalist on NBC's a cappella competition, The Sing Off, Dawson draws from a large pool of training and firsthand knowledge to bring success to everything she is a part of. And so I just want to let y'all know, I mean, she's done some phenomenal collaborations. Her anticipated solo debut album is expected to drop spring 2021. We're going to talk a little bit about her single that came out earlier this year too. So, and last thing I want to say is, as she tells you, I don't write songs about nothing. And that's real truth. Every song Kim composes makes a statement you'll carry with you long after the show is over. You'll hear a beautiful meld of her range and experience and influences and background. While she may cross genres, you will walk away from a Kim Dawson show knowing exactly who she is, and you won't be able to label it either. So welcome to the stage.
Girl, that ain't a bio, honey.
A bio. Kim Dawson. Come
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome,
man,
beautiful.
I think I should have you read my bio like every time I step on stage. That was like so energetic and like it was like conviction.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm ready. Wait, what are you doing?
She's like, you want to know this lady?
You want to know,
right?
Absolutely. I wanted to
thank
know.
You
thank you for being here so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. You know, y'all know I watch you when I can, and like, you know, I support all of you, and I'm just honored to be in the same like queendom as you all have, because you are phenomenally talented people, and also just like bomb ladies. So
thank you.
Likewise,
here right now. I know, but it's genuine. I promise, y'all.
You did not get paid, or she did not get paid for that.
I know.
Right. No, thank you so much, Kim. We're honored to have you on the show with us. Just wanted to ask you first and foremost, what you sipping on today?
Yes.
Oh, I made myself a little gin and tonic.
Well,
gin and tonic.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Okay. I'm with that. And so usually we start off with, I'm sorry, girl, what you gonna say?
No, I was saying I'm usually like, when it's hot, I do a rosé or like a white wine, but I didn't have any, honey. So it's like,
got you.
Gin, sure,
exactly.
Exactly.
That works.
Friday,
right?
That absolutely works. So we got a question of the day, and the question of today is, just real quick, so I want to know if there was one meal that you could eat and you had to eat for the rest of your life, every day, what would it be? I see that face, Mom.
Oh, man.
One meal. Yeah.
And that was
like
it.
You could, for the rest of your life, for the rest of your days on this earth, you got to eat that meal. What would it be?
Oh, for the rest of your life? Wait a minute now.
That is.
There's levels to this. There's
right.
a lot going on in my brain.
I got excited, and then I was like, wait a minute.
But wait, if I eat that every day, I'm going to be a hot mess.
Right. Yeah, my first thing that I thought about was like, I love a good charcuterie board with like meats and cheeses and olives and stuff.
Yes.
But then my life would probably not be very long if I ate that every day.
Right.
Like, rest of my life would be like next week. So maybe not that. Oh man, that's hard.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah.
You got one?
So for me, I mean, I probably won't live too long either, but it'll probably be ackee and saltfish. You know, back to my I love me a Jamaican breakfast. You break down like a Jamaican breakfast, the whole thing, some bami, some cassava, some all of that.
You good?
All tea, you know, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, some ackee and saltfish though would be bomb, and some dumplings.
Okay, yeah.
I guess it's hard because it's like the meal I wish I could eat every day, or the meal I know I should eat every day. That's the challenge, right?
That's the
Because I love like
you just know that's the
oysters.
only meal you gonna be able to eat.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the case, I'd have to say like kale or something, because at least I know I would still live, even though I might not like love it, but I'd still be around. But if I didn't have to worry about calories and none of that, then I would have some vegan mac and cheese and some fried oyster mushrooms and some mashed potatoes.
Right.
But we need to live, so kale it is.
Word. All right.
You got one, Kim.
Well,
Choose me last.
You haven't decided, me.
You know, I mean, it would probably be something seafood related. I don't want to be like simple and be like salmon, but you know, something along those lines, some sort of like Mediterranean seafood dish, probably what I would do. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's so much good food out there, and so many different foods from so many different cultures.
I wanted to make it complicated.
It's hard.
It's hard.
That's good. It's hard though. That's a good question.
Yeah, I might have to circle back. Shoot.
Get back with you. I got you.
Okay, so I have the healthy and the not healthy.
There you go.
The not healthy would probably be biscuits and gravy.
With grape jelly? No.
With grape jelly. No, I eat my biscuits and gravy with grape jelly.
Wait, what? I ain't never understood it.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Girl.
Listen, don't blame my daddy, okay? Floyd Spencer.
That's how I put grape jelly on everything.
I do.
Oh,
Like, I literally
think about like...
It's so
good.
Don't make flavors. Okay, sure. You know what?
You take the biscuits, you put the gravy on top, you put some sausage on top, and you slather the jelly on top of the sausage, and you cut it up and you eat it.
Yo, listen, I'm with you though.
You with me?
I'm not gonna lie. The first time that somebody gave me a bacon, egg, and cheese with jelly on it, I was real skeptical. But I tasted it. I was like, okay.
What you're not gonna do is put jelly on my bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Oh, I won't eat it if it ain't got jelly.
No.
I won't eat it if it don't have
delicious.
jelly.
Hey, you know what?
So good.
If it makes you happy, it
can't be that bad. Yeah, that. And then for my healthy, it would be probably like some type of seafood paella.
Oh yeah,
with like rice and veggies and shrimp and mussels and crab legs and all that mixed up.
Yeah, maybe like a veggie stir fry or something with some tofu.
Yeah.
Sarahi said, hi Sarahi. She said you could have a kale salad with rice and beans, plantains, and chicken. That's a meal. And can I get some dessert too?
Right.
She said dessert included.
Dope.
Absolutely.
Arthur, you said no.
Note to what?
I already know.
You better not be talking about my grape jelly.
No.
It ain't. Whatever.
I know people be asking me sometimes, like, I'll be at a restaurant and I'll ask for grape jelly, and they're like, what you need grape jelly for? And I'm like, you're meddling.
Right.
You know what?
You're the waitress. Just give it to me.
Okay.
Mind your business.
Well, ma'am, you ordered a steak and mashed potatoes.
I know. Like, well, why do you need grape jelly?
Like, don't worry about it. Just bring it.
Exactly, Kim. Exactly.
So, but are you? Before we go into the interview, was there another question you were gonna? Because I want to cover our topic before we.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about it. No, there's no other questions.
I need to talk about Harris Biden ticket. I need to talk about it before we move on. Before we have any other business to attend to.
Let's talk about it.
I need to know what y'all think. I'm gonna tell you what I think, but I need to know what y'all think because I have some thoughts.
I have many
opinions.
Probably the
same thing you think.
Right.
I have many opinions.
I mean,
come on,
well,
Kim.
I'll start.
Go ahead, Kim.
Because listen, this was not a ticket that I think, I won't say any of us, but probably most of us were not asking for, right? To start off with. Like, I don't know who in the world thought that, like, Biden was like, that's my guy. Like, I don't know anybody that said that. So we're starting off already kind of behind where we wanted to be, right?
Yep.
Facts.
And then I'm glad that he picked a woman. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that it's somebody like Kamala Harris. I was hoping that she would be part of the cabinet in general, you know, just somewhere. He needs somebody to do certain things. Is it as progressive as I would like? Nah. No. But let me ask like, when was the last time I was incredibly satisfied with whatever was happening on some political ticket? Like,
that part.
not never. So,
Right.
so at this point, I'm just like, okay, let's see at least how we can make things change. If it's a step forward, let's see. You know, I'm not gonna not vote. Is she perfect? No. Is he perfect? No. Like
Right.
but I hope that what I'm hoping is that the lower levels of, you know, like the senators and all that stuff needs to change. To me, that's that's kind of where I'm putting my energy. Because because I'm also just not here for it. Like, maybe I don't like her, but I'm not here for, oh, she's not black enough, oh, she's not whatever, all the other things that people say. But yeah, I'm going to put my energy into the Senate elections, the local, you know, city councils, all the stuff that the people that actually make things happen.
The change.
Preach to him, Kim.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. That's my 2 cents.
I love that.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
That's real.
All of that in a nutshell. What you think, Carrie?
That's real. Oh, I have so many thoughts. I'm real talk, and people gonna be mad. It is what it is. I'm not here for it. So I'm gonna vote, of course. I'm absolutely gonna vote, but I'm not voting for Trump or Biden, and that's real. And I'm gonna write somebody in that I feel like is deserving of that presidency. I don't feel like, absolutely. Hell yeah, like, fuck the Democratic Party. They don't care about me. And real talk. Like, the moment that we started talking about anybody but Trump, that was a trap, fam. And they heard us loud and clear, and they were like, "Oh, okay, I got you. This is what we gonna give you." And I don't feel like, to me, that's not a vote that I'm willing to make. Like, I didn't make that decision. I didn't make the decision for, like, this trash president. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't feel like I should be like, held to. If people think that I'm trying to split the Democratic ticket, you can think that. I'm gonna vote, right? My ancestors fought for me to vote, right? But also, I feel like they fought for me to recognize that nobody should ever deny me of my power. Not that I should be forced to make shitty decisions. Like, that's what I personally believe.
I mean,
so,
you know,
I'm gonna vote.
You can't really argue with that.
I can't.
Nope.
It is what it is. But, like, and the other thing that I've been saying is, like, Kamala, I'm happy for you. Do your thing. Like, when I said I'm rooting for everybody black, I meant it. Like, if this is what you wanted to do in your life, I support you. Like, I support that this is your dream, and I'm happy that you're able to accomplish that. Kudos to you as a black woman in this world. Where everybody,
the shade.
Where's the palm tree?
Where's the palm tree, honey?
All around.
That was eloquent shade. I'm sorry.
I'm happy for you, but I'm not voting for you. Like, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't think that you're going to accomplish what I need for you to accomplish. And the last thing I'm gonna say is a lot of people are focusing a lot on the immigration, right? And like, the fact that they're like, well, because I ask people, I'm like, what's the difference? I'm sorry, I cannot see a clear difference between Biden and Trump. I genuinely cannot, and I want somebody to show me those differences. Even when you look at their campaign slogans right now. Make America great again versus restore the soul of America. What soul? Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it different? And so, to me, if it's not different, and the only thing that people have been bringing up for me is immigration. Listen, I'm a child of immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had undocumented family. And one thing is clear, and people gonna be mad at me about this too. But Joe Biden was a part of an administration run by a black man, and that's the only reason that he's actually in this position. You know what I'm saying? Run by a black man that, real talk, deported a hell of a lot more people at this point, y'all, if we actually pay attention to what has happened, right? I'm not saying that they weren't palatable. I'm not saying they weren't more diplomatic, but let's talk about what really happened. And that's all I have to say.
Mic drop.
Well then. I mean, you ain't said nothing that wasn't true.
Right.
So I think the only thing that's going to actually affect change in this country is if people get as passionate about it. Because I think we're so used to being like, well, this is as good as we're going to get.
Yeah.
Like, that is the default energy in this country, as far as politics is concerned anyway.
Right.
I think the default is, well, this is as good as we're going to get, so we just got to deal. And it's prevented lots of progress. It's prevented any sort of change at the top that's why the DNC and the RNC are the way that they are, because they know that we're not really going to fight that hard for what we actually want. Or at least we're not going to like collectively dismantle the systems that are oppressing us. It's like we're going to try to like talk about why it's terrible and then put one person in place to maybe change one thing. But like it's not, I don't know. I'm frustrated with like lots of things about this country. It's one of those things that I'm just like, maybe it's time to move someplace else. But
that part.
I mean, for real. Like, are y'all worried about like what happens in November?
Oh yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I
absolutely.
Like, it's terrifying to me. I don't want to be here. It's just, I don't know. It's a mess.
I've been terrified since November 2016.
Oh yeah.
Like when I got off the plane and realized that we had the president that we had, and I could see literally, because I've talked about this a couple times. I don't know on here, but I was on a flight the day that they announced Trump's election. I landed in Denver. I was coming back from New York. I landed in Denver at like 9 or 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, whatever time that like we were on the plane and we were watching the election, and we landed as they announced it. Half of the plane was in tears. The other half was like gloating. And the thing that scared me the most wasn't Trump. It was the reaction of the people around me, and the way that you saw like literally a split on one end of the plane to the other. Yeah. So, if to answer how I feel about this Harris-Biden situation, I am really angry with the DNC. I'm really angry with Pelosi and Schumer. At the same time, I feel like we have a real crisis on our hands. And I feel like, and I'm encouraged by the changes that I am seeing in local government. Yes, there is fight that needs to be done, but at least we are having the conversation and there's something happening. But at the same time, I just cannot fathom another 4 years with this man. If we have another 4 years with this man, I feel like Black folks have dealt with a lot of bullshit, and we will survive. Right. But I think we shouldn't have to. And there should be enough folks who are not of color in this country. I would hope that they would vote somewhere to get him out. But I'm also with you, Carrie. That is not a solution. That's not even an option. Unfortunately, it's just the choice that we have right now. I don't know what else Trump needs to do for people to see how incredibly screwed up this man is. I don't know what else the Senate needs to do for people to see how screwed up this country is. Yeah. I don't know what else the mayors and the governors need to do, good or bad, for people to see how screwed up our local government is. So it is on all of those levels. But at the same time, I really want, I want us to find a way towards some semblance of peace. This unrest here is on a whole nother level. It's on a whole nother vibration. And I'm done with it. I could deal with the coronavirus. I could deal with politics. I could deal with whatever. All of it, all at the same time. Something got to give.
Too much.
It's too much.
I feel you.
This too much, as they say. It's too much.
One of our listeners said, Sarahi said, my fear is that the alternative is so damn evil, but we should strongly focus on Congress and getting rid of some dinosaurs.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Vote down the ballot.
Absolutely.
Because all this presidency is trying to do is keep you entertained. And if you are not entertained, then vote down the fucking ballot. Exactly. Like, real talk. Because we need people in there that are going to be able to challenge his power. Like, that's what checks and balances are there for. Yes. And if we use them appropriately. And stop letting these systems tell us who is viable. Right. Stop letting them tell us who's a viable candidate. We determine that. And if we don't determine that, then that's the problem. So let's start changing the conversation so that we can make sure that we, the people, determine who is viable, determine who is worthy of being in that seat, and vote for them. Fam. Like, come on.
Yeah. Like, we don't deserve to keep getting this like sloppy second type thing. Like,
girl, and that's exactly what it is.
Better than that.
Better than Bernie twice.
He's not as bad. Exactly. He's not as bad, but just go for that. So we going in there voting just to be voting?
Right. What was you gonna say, Kim? I saw your face, girl.
Well, I was gonna say, sorry, the sun is like, my house is so weird with lighting, so sorry you're seeing this.
Oh no, it's fine.
But whatever.
You're glowing.
Glowing. But I was going to say, I'm not sure that we don't deserve it, because here's the thing. People have not paid attention.
Well,
people haven't paid attention, and that's why we're in the state that we are in right now.
Yes.
You know, like if we had been paying attention to who is on the ballot, and like, I mean, because there have been people throughout the decades that only cared about the president and didn't care as much about all the other stuff.
How do we get Mitch McConnell?
And so,
how do we get
and the people in power took advantage of that complacency, that ignorance, that like, oh, y'all are going to do what you want, whatever it was, whatever people's reasons were for not actually being informed or making the informed decisions. So I don't agree that we don't deserve it.
No, that's real.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm totally with you. I meant we as those who care. Not the ones who don't. Yeah, you know what I mean? But America as a whole is trash. Yeah.
America's trash.
It is.
Put that on the
like,
t-shirt.
it is trash. America is trash. And I would be scared to, it's so crazy because I would wear a t-shirt like that, but then I'd be like, America is so trash, I would get killed.
Right.
Somebody would take me down for wearing that shirt because that's how trash America is.
Right.
That's real.
I choose to say we have had so much work to do since people put boots on the ground here, and we're still, and that's what, it's been a problem since day one, and until we acknowledge that we have stuff to fix, ain't nothing going to get fixed. And I think the good thing is, the one good thing about all of the Corona stuff and being kind of everybody being, you know, not sequestered, but, you know, like we're not able to do the things that we normally do. It has allowed for people to pay attention to things that they didn't before.
Absolutely.
Because they can see it. They're not distracted by whatever else is going on in their life. And so there are people that are like actually learning and trying to change and grow, while there are those of us that are like, I've been saying this for like forever. And why would you listen, you know? But, you know, there are people coming up, and I think that there is some positive change happening. It's being very strongly resisted, as it always has.
Right.
You know?
Right. For Ilhan Omar to be reelected, that gave me a lot of joy.
Oh, yes.
For Cori Bush to get elected to Congress was huge as well. Super. So no, you're 100% right, Cam. Like, beautiful things are happening, and it's because we're recognizing our power, and we have to remember to never allow for anyone to deny us of that power. Like, that is unacceptable. You feel me?
Yes.
And so, like, let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. And I know people mad, but no, I'm not going for it.
Listen, sis,
I'm a little sad about that, sis, but I understand, you know. I understand. You're a grown woman, but listen, you make your own decisions. But I will say, you know, I just think you could just slide that vote down the body. You just slide it on down.
I'm gonna vote for somebody I think
because if that vote means that I got to deal with Trump, though. Girl.
I'm just saying.
I mean, if the Electoral College weren't a thing, I think it would be a little bit more of a concern.
And shout out to
just said that.
Yes, bringing that up. Absolutely. No, the system is fixed. But that's the reason why I refuse to play this game, though, because it is fixed. The reason why Biden is in the position that he is in is because he could afford, right, to run and to. And here's the thing. Well, let's think about it. Like, people want to be able to participate in their government, but they are doing other shit, like trying to survive. They can't afford to play this political game that they keep playing with us. Like, we don't have time for this shit. But I'm not going to play this game with you just because this is what you've given me. Fuck that. No. And so, and also for the people that were all like, oh, Kamala, you're a dope black woman. I'm so happy to see a dope black woman in office like this. Why didn't you vote for her when she was running for president then? Like, why did she have to be vice president?
That part.
So what I'm saying is, you need to figure yourself out, check all of your privileges, right? And recognize your power and use it when it's presented to you.
Right.
I'm done.
Woo! Honey, we have a few comments. Yay, people are writing today. People are writing, and I'm loving this. So,
you lit a fire.
You lit it. Yes, Richard Hankey, I hope I'm saying your name right, sir. He says, we all need to vote. This has got to change.
That's right.
Nance Vixen says, the only way to get Dump out of our WH is to vote for Biden. Not my pick, but Dump must go. Also, Richard says again, George Carlin said it best. Do you know how stupid the average American is? And half the people are dumber than that.
But can I just say, the way my petty is set up.
Be petty, bro.
And this is why I bring it back to the DNC, because you gave me Biden, and that right there, I lost my respect for you. Not that I'd had it before, but Biden can't even finish a sentence. He can't even.
Cannot to save his life.
From the start of the sentence to the end, homeboy never makes it.
Cannot.
And you want to put him in a debate? Like, that's the only reason why I'm okay with Kamala, because I know at the very least she gonna stick it to Pence, and she ain't gonna let up on that. And you need somebody who won't falter. But I just don't understand how Biden became the person that you think is gonna go up against Trump and really be able to snap back. Because you know how Trump is. He's New York. He's quick talking, fast talking, all of that. And Biden, I don't care what you got to say whenever you eventually get to the point of the damn thing you're trying to say.
Poor thing.
And I'm just struggling, honey. But baby, somebody need to get him together.
I mean, but he's not going to, he's been doing this so long. And everybody knows what it is. He's not going to change anything about how he needs to approach it. Also, he's old. Like, you try to change how your grandma talks, whatever. It's like, this is
it's not going to happen.
You know, it's kind of like, he's like, I've put in my dues. I'm old. I say what I want, how I want, the end.
Right.
And
that's real.
So it's like, that's never going to change. It will be interesting to see the debate, the VP debate.
Honey,
I think it'll probably be the first time I've actually been interested in them.
Yeah.
That's real.
Mm-hmm. But it's also like, it don't take that much to beat Pence. He doesn't say anything.
Right.
Nope.
Nothing.
He doesn't really have a
don't know anything.
on anything. Exactly. So like, I mean, yeah, she could beat him, but like that bar's not high.
Right.
I
think they should have Kamala debate Trump, and then we'll be done with the conversation. I can do that.
The end. Yeah.
I watched that.
The end.
I rewatched that. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, the problem is that Republicans know their base is solid.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
Trump knows that his fans, and I call them fans because that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that his fans are solid. He's not trying to win over anybody.
No.
Mm-mm. Democrats are still trying to win over people for whatever.
Right.
Exactly.
They still don't know
in their way.
Right.
Republicans are not, because they got this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like their base is solid. They're not worried about anything. He doesn't have to. He could get up there and not say a word, and they'd be like, "Yep, see, he's not. He's not. They'll make a reason why."
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Right.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party has been waiting for the other shoe to drop for Trump for a long time. Like you can pick so many points. Like see, he's incompetent. See, like we need to stop doing that and just worry about what we need to do as a Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Like
that's right.
How's your foundation?
It's a word.
That's right. The foundation.
I will say I have been getting my entire life though watching the news and watching all these people who like were not Biden supporters who now all of a sudden to see Susan Rice on. I mean, not that she wasn't a Joe Biden supporter, but Andrew Yang and Bernie and all these people now they're singing his praises, and I'm like, y'all lying. You straight up lying. And you know good well. You still mad because you didn't get the nomination.
Because you didn't get the nomination.
Right. Exactly.
They did an interview with Bernie and they were talking about Trump, and Bernie was like, well, you know, I mean, Trump ain't stupid. He's crazy, but he ain't stupid. And I was like, Bernie just ain't got no fucks left to give. I don't care.
I mean, and that poor man has been saying the same thing for years, and he's like, y'all still don't want this? Cool, all right. I'm out.
Exactly.
Y'all don't deserve me.
Don't deserve it. Exactly.
Yeah, don't deserve me.
But I will give you kudos, Sarai. I saw what you said.
Yes, I was getting ready to show that. I love that.
Let's acknowledge there's a woman of color in such a powerful position. I pray that her heart finds the right place. It better. She needs to apologize for a lot of things.
A lot.
Yeah. But you can sit to that, sis. I'll sit with you.
100%. I'll sit with you. That's what I'm saying. I'm still rooting for her every day. Do your thing, sis. I'm just not voting for you.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm going to cut you out. Shade.
We keeps it real here on the sip, okay?
I don't know what you thought.
I'm here for it.
I don't know what you thought. I don't know what you thought. But
do we want to talk about the other pop culture thing, or do we want to just move on?
No, let's just move on. Let's get into our sister in power, Miss Kim Dawson.
Yeah, Miss Kim Dawson. So thank you for, rapping with us and just talking all the mess. It was beautiful. But I just want to know a little bit more about you. Want to introduce the sippers, right, to who Kim Dawson is. If you could please just let them know who you are, and we'll go from there.
All right. I am originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. My family moved here in the mid-'90s when my dad got a job out here. I am the daughter of a pastor and music minister, and my mom and my dad had a gospel group that they used to travel around the country with. They were on the Bobby Jones Gospel Hour back in the day.
Yes, come on, Bobby Jones Gospel.
Yeah, love that show.
Come through.
Yeah, right? I know. And if people don't know, Google it. It was the thing. Like there was nothing bigger for gospel in the day
than the Bobby Jones, right?
Just so you know. So I can. That's the funny thing. Like I was on TV. Everything that I've done, like my parents did first. So I'm always just catching up. But it's
right.
It's like, you know, I grew up in a musical household, a very spiritual household. But my parents were also very. It was like this weird, like conservative, but also progressive line. They were always treading. But yeah. And then I went to college, studied music. I used to study violin. That was actually the first instrument that I
remember we had a conversation about this.
Yeah.
Love it.
I was a little Suzuki kid back in the day. Yeah. And I played for a long time and but you know, I always knew music was going to be my thing. Like there was no, you know, some people figure out what their calling is later. I was like 3 years old and I was like, music, okay, done. Yeah. Like,
right.
This is it. Like, I had my first solo in church. I was 3 and I was like, yeah, this is
it. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing this. I like this. I'm gonna, and so, I've just been doing the thing as well as I could do it. I've been blessed to be able to like travel the world and sing and write and perform with lots of different groups. And so with some legendary people, like founders of P-Funk and like the Meters, and again, just very fortunate to have had those experiences. And I'm still going. This year was going to be the year of like all the Kim Dawson releases, so she can tour and under her own name. Didn't quite happen, but it's okay. Because I know music's not going anywhere, and I'm just going to keep writing and, you know, keep releasing my music. I have my first single. I've written for other bands and stuff, but I have my first single under my own name that came out in March. Yes. It's called Try.
Beautiful.
You can find it on all.
I'm going to ask you to dive in.
Love it. Yes.
And, I have more to come. I've actually been doing a lot of home recording because I think that's what everybody's doing, and people are sending me music. To like, Kim, sing on this. Kim, sing on it. It's like, okay, cool. Where were y'all like for the last 5? Yeah, don't worry about that.
How about that?
Okay, that's okay.
Right.
Okay. They're here now, and I'm gonna take advantage of it.
That's right. That's right.
I have there was one that came out, a release that came out in June, and it came out on vinyl today. So,
nice.
Called Good Thing is the name of the song. It's a little old school soul tune that I wrote with a friend of mine who is an amazing drummer from out east. I don't know if y'all know the band Soul Live.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so the drummer from Soul Live, Alan Evans, and I were in another band together, and then so he's become like a big brother and like the best support system. And that's the thing that I think, like I heard you guys talking about like using this time to like figure out who you are, what you want to be, where you want to go, and all that stuff. And I have been trying to decide who I want to play for, what my brand is, like, and like you said, I don't make music about nothing. Like, I don't know how to do that. And so now I'm like, okay, well, I can put in all of my social activism, like, you know, whatever it is, I'm going to write about it and I'm going to sing about it. And I'm not going to just be worrying about people shaking their behinds to my music. Well, that's also something that we can do, but that won't be our primary focus, and that's okay.
Right.
And and I want to play to different audiences that will appreciate that, you know, and I want to work with people that also want to affect change. Yes. You know, and so that's kind of what I'm been doing in this time, and just figuring out the Kim Dawson sound is hard. Like gospel background, opera background, jazz. Like, what does that sound like? Like, you know,
right.
How do I write a song for that? You know, it's like, what do I do? But I think eventually the music just kind of comes out of you. The song tells you what it needs, and your heart tells you what the song needs. And so I've kind of just been trusting that moment. And that's hard, y'all. It's hard to trust that like whatever you have inside of you is okay. So that's the other part I've been working on during this time. Like, again, especially as, you know, you've had these experiences as musicians and with amazing musicians, and it can make you feel real small sometimes because you're surrounded by greatness. And even though you're with the greatness, and you're like, well, I can't create something that great. Right. And you kind of become a slave to your own good taste. Yes. I've been trying to not worry so much about it being perfect or being different or like whatever. Just be honest.
I love it.
And genuine. And that's kind of where I'm at. That was really long-winded.
No,
that's
that was beautiful. That's what makes you you. You getting some love here in the comments, girl.
Yeah.
Meg said, and that single is amazing.
Megan Anderson.
Yes.
Aw, thanks, Megan.
Tania said the song is bomb.
Yes, honey.
Speaking of amazing musicians.
Yes. We had on the show last week. Yes.
And Tania and I kind of came up in this jazz scene together too. Like we were hitting all the late night jam sessions together when we were trying to make a name for ourselves and like, you know, doing all that stuff. So she and I, we go way back. I love that woman to death.
Yes.
Yes. We
and
love
if y'all didn't check her out last week, or was it last week she was on? So 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. Yes. Please go check her out.
First, if you haven't checked her out, check her out.
Just check her out.
Yes.
Oh, Betsy, what up, girl?
Kim is one of the hardest working, most loyal girls out there. She's an amazing friend and an amazing human being. She tells it like it is, and we are all lucky she is doing all the things. Yay, girl!
She was one of my roommates in college, so she knows the tell it like it is. Because you know, when you get home from a long day of dealing with whatever, and you have like no filter,
that's it.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Just showing some of the people your work. And then I wanted you to talk a little bit about your single that came out earlier this year, Try.
Yes.
You want to just let the people know, you know, what really brought you to write that song, if you don't mind opening up about that and tell people how to check it out.
Yeah. So I was going through like kind of some songwriting writing blocks, you know, and I kind of just decided to write a song about being scared about whatever I put out there. Like I was saying, like, it's not, I would edit like, oh, it's not good enough. And then I was like, what if I just try? Just like, hence the name of the song.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just a call, an anthem to everybody to just put it out there. Like, just try, and like, who knows what's going to come up? Like, don't try to predict what's going to happen. Just do the thing. And it says featuring Will Blades. Will Blades is an amazing organ player, originally from Chicago. I think he's out in LA now. And another guy that's like huge in the jazz world that like I came into contact with. I keep having these like random times that I get put to sing with these people. Like I met him at a wedding that somebody made an amazing band for, and then he just kept in touch and was like, hey, I'm going to be in town. You got anything you need me to play on? And I was like almost done with Try. And I was like, sure, yep. I'm going to make this happen. I finished it, I think, like maybe the 2 nights before he got in, and called a whole bunch of people and was like, hey, I got a studio spot. Let's do this.
Let's do
it. And yeah, it was kind of it was a bit of a labor of love, just because, yeah, I put all of myself in that. I always do. I put all of myself in everything that I do, and it was scary, but it has been well received, and I'm glad. And then, you know, the good thing is people were like, yeah, I want to hear more. I was like, okay, good.
Right.
Oh no.
Because at least they weren't like, oh, that's all right. Yeah, okay. That's cute.
Right,
it's cute.
right.
So, you know, and yeah, so I hope that at the very least people will hear it and kind of know what I sound like and want to hear more and be inspired to do their own thing. At the end of the day, that's really what I would like to. I mean, I get inspired by, I'm sure you guys do too. You get inspired by people that aren't necessarily musicians or that are musicians that are completely different than what you do.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, if I can do that for other people, then cool. You know, and I thought about it a little bit. My husband and I had the fortunate. I cannot talk, y'all.
It's fine, girl.
We were blessed to go to the Democratic Republic of Congo back in February and play music out there. And when I tell you, I heard some of the best musicians I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
People that are like,
imagine.
10, 15 years younger than me, and like, I mean, if you have the chance, the Congo specifically is just a beautiful, beautiful country with beautiful people. There's a lot of terrible stuff there. But there's also a lot of beauty. And beyond that, there's just a lot of music. And I kind of got inspired by some of it. I'm not sitting here trying to copy Congolese rhythms because that's
honey,
girl, that's work. Intricate.
Right.
Just some stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, they were very welcoming to whatever we did. We played this festival, and we're the only Americans, and they were kind of like, what y'all doing? Like, you lost? But, I just was like, whatever, I'm just going to do my thing, and hopefully people like it. And they did. They were so responsive and so welcoming. And we learned a song by a really famous Congolese musician. I guess he's like the most famous Congolese musician ever. His name is Papa Wemba. And he had this song called Take Me by the Hand. The good thing was the chorus is in English.
Amen.
So that was so we're like, but the verses were in Lingala, which is one of the 350 languages spoken in the DRC. 350, y'all.
Girl,
I was like, y'all speak French. So
I love it.
I knew they spoke French, which was good because I speak French. So I was like, I'll be able to converse. But they like splice it with whatever other languages. So I'd be like, okay, I heard that one word.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, Lingala specifically is kind of a hard language, and we got help from our translators. But the first thing we asked was like, are they going to be like we don't want to offend anybody, and we just wanted to show love for them and like have an actual exchange of cultural ideas.
Right.
And they were like, man, no, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. And when like one of the other band members, bless his heart, took it upon himself to learn the song in Lingala in the other language. And when he started singing, that crowd lost their minds and were so excited. And it was the best moment I've ever had on stage in my entire life. Like all of us were just crying and happy, and it was one of those moments like, this is why we do this.
This is
this is why we do this, for this kind of uplifting each other. And I encourage anybody to take their talents. I mean, if you are able to travel the world, well, once we're able to leave, but going outside of what your comfort zone is for whatever, because we all have our scenes that our scenes that we're comfortable in. But going outside of that and sharing to people that you may not even have a language in common with, and just seeing what that's like is awesome. I don't know. Again, I've been fortunate to have these experiences. I mean, I haven't, singing with Jill Scott or Lizzo or anything. But
stop it! No, honey, you are amazing.
One day,
inspire me so much.
Thank you. I mean, we still need to do some work.
We do.
This is a little collective right here.
Honey, this whole exactly.
We're gonna make some magic right here.
I'm saying.
I have not been on the same stage yet, Kim. Like
that's
crazy.
How did that happen?
We gotta do something. We gotta do a podcast. We want to do something. We got to do some type of sit podcast music festival, women's
concert series,
and just
all
take
that.
it on the road.
And then we'll have yoga and fitness and
some mental health gurus,
some mental health, some song and dance. Like it's gonna be dope.
Oh yeah,
I think we just created a thing right here. We did
something. Okay.
Y'all heard it.
Black Girl Collective. Come on, y'all.
Speak it into existence. Well, I have a question for you. Being like the fact that you have like classical background and gospel and everything, I grew up in the church and grew up in classical music and then kind of made my way into other genres. It's a two-part question. The first part is, how did you make the determination that like you wanted to just be in all genres when you were younger? Was it just a specific genre that you were singing?
Right.
And then number two, being that you grew up in the church, and yes, I'm going to ask this question, being that you grew up in the church,
here we go.
Did you ever the church, honey, okay? Did you ever get any flack for singing secular music? Because, your father's a minister, and, I always been intrigued by that.
Yeah. Okay. So first part, I don't think that I ever no, I never, even though I got my degree in classical voice, I was never planning on being like an opera singer, a professional opera singer. Basically, you know, and you probably experience this with violin. It's like you either go classical when you study in college, or there were some schools that had jazz. There was very little commercial music programs when I was in college. There's a lot more now.
Oh yeah,
there were very few. So then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go to a school that I like with a professor that I like. If it's that I study opera, cool, because I know I'm just gonna learn about my voice and be able to use it however I see fit.
Love that.
And that was my goal. I knew I wasn't trying to be like Leontine Price or anything.
Right.
I mean, she's amazing, but I was not trying to.
Honey, yes.
But that wasn't my thing. And so I kind of just got the skills and then and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to add what I know from these other genres and put them in there. And it kind of just, when I graduated college, I was like, I'm going to be a jazz singer. I actually thought about that. The first time I thought about that, I was in high school. Yes. And the high school jazz band director heard me sing at a choir concert, and I wasn't really a jazz singer, but he heard something in my voice that he's like, I think you can do this. He gave me my first Sarah Vaughan album, and I was like, yep. This is what I'm
That's it.
Yeah. And she's still my favorite singer to this day. And but then, you know, I graduated college and went into the jazz, and that's all I was doing. And it's hard, you know, to come up, mostly just because people don't appreciate jazz the way they used to. No. So the opportunities were just fewer. And then I got some work singing with what we call a jam band, which I didn't even know what that was. It was just this band that was doing like a Michael Jackson tribute. And I learned that like, oh, this is where the funk bands exist. It's with all the hippies. Hippies are the ones listening to funk and soul. Right. Who knew?
Right.
I didn't know. But these players, like the whole band, the band was called the Motet. Motet's a Boulder-based band. Like those guys all went to like Berkeley, went to New England Conservatory, went to Manhattan School. Like they are all very, very well-trained musicians that then figured out how to like, you know, use their skills to do. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. Like I can do what? And so it afforded me a lot of opportunities to play festivals I'd never heard of, and like, you know, and not be in a black cocktail dress all the time. I had to learn. I had to figure out how to dress for that stuff. I was always like way overdressed.
Overdressed? Yeah, I got you.
You a jazz glam, honey. You a jazz glam.
Right.
Jazz glam.
They gotta adjust to you know?
Jazz glam realness, boom.
I love it. But you know, and it's like so I kind of got stuck in that world, and I'm sad because like it kind of removes you from other things. But also in Colorado, I think that the musical genre world, they're just very segregated. The rock bands don't hang out with the jazz cast. Jazz cast don't hang out with, you know, the R&B cast. Like it's so segregated. And so I kind of haven't been in like the black music scene here till like recently again. I'm like, hi, I've been here for like 20 years. Hello. Let me back in. But yeah, I kind of wish that. So one of my goals too, after we were able to like hang out again, like I want to help blend the genres. Like we're all doing the same stuff. We want the same things. Like there's no reason that, you know, there's no reason that we should be this.
Right. Should be working together.
So that's a long-winded story. I wanted to be just jazz. Now I'm like, oh, there's all these things, and there's jazz singers that do lots of things. So like, whatever. I'm gonna just make music. What comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. You can classify it the way you want to.
Exactly.
I'm gonna just be me.
Put it in your.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is there, you had talked about, I love what you said about your writing process and about holding on to songs and trying to find ways to release them and stuff. And Nika and I talk about that a lot. Like I might have something that I feel like sounds so good to me, but I won't release it because of all the things that I think about. What are some of the practices that you do to kind of get yourself out of that comfort zone? Like how do you hit that barrier and overcome it?
Yeah, that's it. It's a process. You know, I would say put people around you that you trust, that if you have an idea, or even just that you can good or bad, they're gonna love you no matter what. Because that's some of what it is. It's like, people are. I'm gonna for me. I'm like, I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Yeah.
Like people would have high expectations, and I don't want to disappoint people. But like, put people in your circle that you trust to listen to your music, and like maybe just bounce a night. Like, what do you think of this? You like this?
Yeah.
And maybe they don't, or maybe they do. Send it to like 5 different people. Some of them will like it, some won't. And then you'll see that like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To just, I think, have a support circle of trust, and then also stop caring so much what other people think. To the point that you say that. Because that serves nobody.
Right.
Doesn't help them, doesn't help you.
Right.
So, and it's hard. It's hard. I mean, we're musicians. We want people to like our music.
Right.
Exactly. You have to love my babies. I took a lot of time to have these babies, all of my sons.
Exactly.
I need you to love them all.
Exactly. Yeah. But then, like, who has that? Who has that?
Right.
Like, look at whatever artist. I don't care who. Like Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder. There's a few of his songs I was like, oh.
Right. That was an interesting choice.
Right. Right.
So if
I love
if Stevie Wonder can have a miss, I'm doing all right.
Exactly.
I'm doing all right.
You doing
and the
it
other side of it is just write to write. I have a friend who's a songwriter in Nashville who's written for Meghan Trainor and like tons and tons of people. Like he is doing very successfully, and he will say, you have to bleep it out or whatever. But he's like, sometimes you just got to write and write the bad song. Finish the terrible song that you don't like. Finish it. So
that's
you flush the shit out. Flush the shit out and make way for the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
That's real good.
Right. That's why he's like,
Right.
Like, I was like, oh yeah, you're real good at this.
Right.
But yeah, like it makes sense. Like sometimes you just have to write the bad song and like not take it personally. Because you do too. You go like, oh, maybe I'm not good at this because that wasn't my best effort.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like nobody writes hits every single time out the gate. Like that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
That's unrealistic. The same thing I tell my students: set realistic expectations. That is not one of them.
Right.
So just the main thing is just do the thing. And I will say I have a very supportive husband who is also a musician, and sometimes he'll just be like, "So did you finish that song?"
Right.
Give you a little nudge.
Right. I love that. And sometimes I'm like, no, or he'll just tell people that I'm doing things, and so I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta get it right. He's like, she's writing these songs. You should have her play on this. And I'm like, I've only written like 4 bars of that.
Right.
He's shy.
That's how you know he believes in you now.
That's how he knows. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. That too. And I think that is so important, and that's one of the reasons I'm married. I mean,
that's right. That's right.
I love it.
And like he's honest. Like there'll be times I'm like this, and he's like,
right. That's right. You know.
But I do the same thing with him. So like
that's
you gotta
right.
have that.
Yeah.
You gotta have that. I mean, he's an amazing musician and graphic designer, and there'll be times that he is real good at his job. Like his design work is gorgeous.
It's amazing.
And then I'll walk in the room, and sometimes he'll be like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. That looks like a penis." But like, or just like
kind of
is that what you meant? Is that what it's supposed to look like?
or like the color scheme's off or something. And I don't know. I'm not a visual person as much as he is, but when you work on, you're so hyper focused on something, you don't see the big.
Right.
And so he uses me for that, and I use him for the same thing. I'll be worried about these like this one line in a verse, and he'll be like, "Yeah, but the chorus doesn't make sense." Like, oh,
right.
Yeah. So it's such long-winded ansers.
We love it.
I'm just so excited to be talking to people.
This is so that they can
it's funny. I wonder. I was thinking when you were saying it, like, I wonder why we as musicians box ourselves into corners. Like, just because people buy your jazz album and you like jazz, and Nick and I have talked about this, like, if all you pursue is jazz, and I love what Tania said about you got to meet all musicians. That's how you get better in your craft.
Yeah.
When I moved to Denver, my whole plan was just how many ways can I make music? Not even do I want to focus on jazz, because you're right, jazz is such it's a beautiful genre, but it's a hard genre to be a professional musician in. but why not go sing folk? Why not sing rock? Why not just make music and see what comes out? So that's a great reminder.
And it makes you a better musician overall. You know, I think we get scared that we're not going to be good at whatever genre we choose if that's what you're doing. If you like have these other influences, and and I think musicians teach each other to be hypercritical as well.
Oh, absolutely!
You know,
I was just going to say that.
Like it's like a badge of honor to be a hater.
Training,
right? To be superior, like come on,
nobody impresses me. Like that's. I mean, we sit and we watch other musicians like this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a good point, because I literally, you as a singer, like I listen to R&B, I listen to, sometimes I listen to a little trap, whatever. But then I think to myself, I can't put out a song like that. I'm a jazz vocalist. People know me like this. But Brian is always like, you need to make the music that you listen to.
That you
need
feel.
to make the music that you feel.
Exactly.
So Carrie, me and you gonna write a trap song. There we go.
Let's go.
Kim will write the hook for us. Nico play the violin. It'll be bomb.
It'll be bomb. Put that joint out.
Yes.
Right. Come on. And make some money, honey. Okay.
Absolutely.
I wanted to address Monique's second half of her question real quick about the church.
Yes.
I, again, am very fortunate to have had parents that never believed in the whole, like, you have to only do church music. Now, other people in the church, my parents didn't do it, so I didn't have to deal with it at home, which is great. Because my dad, grew up playing, like, rock bands when he was coming up in college and stuff.
Okay.
So, like, he had and he was, an actor. And so he's just like, just make art. Just make art.
Right.
Just do the thing.
I love that.
But there would be other people. I definitely had a great aunt that I was sitting in her kitchen. I will never forget this day. I was sitting in their kitchen with her, and this was back before I was really singing that much. I was mostly still just playing violin, and she was like worried about me playing even classical music, and I was like, "What do you want me to? What do you want me to do though?" Like,
violin, honey, Bob kind of comes with the territory, right? Mozart is just a part of it,
right? But anyway, she said something that stuck with me that I carried until I talked to someone else in the church about it. But she said, if you don't use that gift for God, He's going to take it away.
Yo,
and I was like, and it terrified me. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to. I can't play Mozart.
Triggered.
I can't play Vivaldi. And I was so worried that I was like evil and doing evil things.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did ask somebody else in the church. They're like, well, that's true. I mean, I know you have to like learn yourself, but you need to like. And then that became a whole movement. Like, don't listen to anything secular. Don't. And I'm sitting here like, but I know that these Christian artists are listening to this. So how come?
How did they get that?
Right.
How did they learn?
Right.
Come on now.
It's like I was always that kid that was like the kid in Sunday school was like, but how come?
That don't make no sense.
It make no sense. Right.
Comparing verses.
Good on you.
Like, but it says over here. But this says over here. So I want to know how come.
How do we got to over there? Right.
Again, my dad would teach me to like really, really research because why believe in something if it's just like blind faith? That's not real faith. Like, so you need to know what it is you're talking about. And I'm sure that every Sunday school and youth group leader that I ever had is like, why'd you tell her this stuff? Because I was just creating problems all the time, causing people to be critical thinkers. But it set me up like right? That's why I am where I am.
Right.
But it caused me to kind of have thick skin. So I kind of became, it was sad because it did separate me from people that I loved in the church. But at the same time, I'm like, I know what's true. Right. So I'm going to go do that. Right. And you need to believe what you need to believe because it makes you feel better. I'm sorry that you're putting yourself in this box. I'm sorry that you're putting your God in this box. I'm sorry that you're putting your religion in this box.
Honey,
and hopefully hopefully you see beyond that one day.
Right.
I may not be the one to teach you, or maybe I'm not going to be the one to tell you, but maybe I show you by living the life that God actually ordained for me. I'm gonna let him tell me. I'm gonna let the universe, God, whatever you want to believe in, I'm gonna let that dictate, and not your, because that's a lot of that's trauma induced too. Like that is they are putting that on themselves and therefore on other people because somebody else taught them that fear. But recognizing that, it takes. I was an adult before, when you're a kid, you're just not wanting anybody to be mad at you. Especially when somebody threatens.
I just want to be loved.
You said that. You hit that
right.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, and I think it's an ongoing process. I think, I sang with my parents' church, their new church that they're at, I guess, before, I don't even know what month it was now. That's how but I was sitting there like, I honestly felt uncomfortable walking in because I was like, oh man, are they gonna, like, I had that fear again. Nobody said anything, but I immediately went in and I was like, they're gonna judge me. They're gonna judge me.
Yeah.
And this lady was like, where have you been hiding? I was like, I haven't been. That's the thing. I've been outside these walls.
Right.
But then another guy came up and was like, I saw you sing at Red Rocks. I remember you. And I was like, so there's people are like,
they're pushing.
The thing. I mean, it's such a thing that we use to hold back musicians, and I feel bad for the people that get that. So, I mean, from the small scale musicians to the big. I mean, do y'all remember when Amy Grant? Remember Amy Grant back in the day?
Oh yeah. Everybody was
she
mad.
stopped doing. She released the secular album.
Oh yeah.
Like people lost their mind.
They did the same thing with Molly Music, and it wasn't even y'all know Molly Music.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't even a secular album. Like he was just not saying Jesus every other word. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like the most innocent. It just wasn't specifically about Jesus. So oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Go to hell.
Go to hell.
Come on. But then the other side of it is that if you are a secular artist and you release a gospel album, then they want to run with that and now pigeonhole you into
you're not Christian enough. You don't deserve to be in this,
Or people like Kanye where they welcome with open arms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
which is weird.
But that's money.
What's the difference? Like, what's the discrepancy? That's the money. Because he's got the clout and the money.
Right, exactly.
And the easy.
They're like, you're going to bring more awareness to our cause about Christianity. So yes, I support you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway.
Never mind the fact that he believes
mentally
in not
ill.
Having too much bass. He's
I need my baby boy to
don't have too much bass because the bass is like bass is 808.
No, I'm sorry. I mean that for real.
I know you are.
Okay, sir, and you're not.
Kim, every episode we say we're not going to talk about Kanye, Jay-Z, or Beyonce. And they're here every episode.
Honey, he finds a way to slither on in, honey.
Lord
Jesus Christ.
But see, and that's the problem, because the only reason he's going to stop being, or even think that he needs to stop doing what he's doing, is if we stop paying attention to it.
Point blank.
It's like if we don't put him in front of everybody, if we're not packing out whatever arena he decides to go to, or whatever church, or whatever event he decides to do, then he'll stop. And I'm not saying like he's not allowed to make his art, but I think that some of the stuff he does is damaging. I think he's not healthy. I agree. I mean, that ain't a standard, because there's plenty of musicians that ain't mentally healthy, but that's also not a problem. But I think that when we start celebrating that people's challenges, that instead of helping, then we're just like, whatever, or like, because I think now people are putting them on display because it's funny, or it's like
leave him alone and let him heal. Go heal.
My only thing with that is, I heard Dio Hughley say this, and I really agreed with it. He was like, we can hold Kanye to a certain standard because he has access to get help there. When you're talking about folks who don't have that, who don't have the money, who don't have family, who's trying to help or whatever, this Negro has all the coin, all the access. He is doing a lot of this for clout. Mental illness does not need to make you say and do the things that you are doing at this level. You know, it's like we can't blame it all on mental illness because at this point, girl, your wife is about to leave you. Like everybody, like that's what they said. They said she's about done. So it's like,
but you knew when you married him, sis. You knew
she did know. She did know.
And you married him for the clout, and you married him for the status, and you married him because people follow him.
Listen,
anyway.
And now it's a bad situation.
We said we wasn't going to talk about it.
We did. But he irks my life so bad. But you know, it's like, yes, he needs to heal, but this nigga, sorry.
You could.
Sometimes
we almost make it to the end of the episode.
We all be trying not to say it.
We almost make it.
This Negro is out in Wyoming or Montana or wherever on some big ass ranch that costs millions of dollars. Sir, please nobody needs to beg you at this point to do what you need to do. You have 4 whole mixed babies living in, you know what I'm saying? Like, do what you need to do. And I don't feel sorry for him. And I'm not going to keep being like, oh, I want him to heal. No. You're grown. Figure it out. Okay, and I'm done.
Well, I mean, that's that celebrity worship, and we are very. Our country is very, 100%. Very. Yeah. You know, that's what we do. That's what we do.
And that's why it's dope. The reality. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's why it's dope that we are our own, our own force of nature. We don't need Kanye. Yep. We don't need Trump. We don't need anything, beyond that. Yep. Yeah, and I just wanted to mention back to that conversation we were having. Hello, Jillian, and thank you for chiming in. She was just going to say, from an artist's perspective, by holding on to whatever that box that you put yourself in, you deprive the audience of you, which I thought was really great. I'm kind of summarizing what you say, Jillian. But she said, we are all blessed by all of your work, and sometimes I need it at different times. And I appreciate that, sis.
I love that.
And she said 45 has a Christian base, too, so take that with a grain of salt.
Exactly.
Right?
We already know.
I love that. I love how she put that. Like, you deprive the audience of you.
Yeah.
You put yourself in the box.
Yeah, that's real.
It's true. We have so many different ways of expressing ourselves. Some days I'm joyful. Some days I'm frustrated. Some days it's all of the things,
Yes.
And then some days, like, I want to rock this Tina Turner song, and other days I'm going to, sing this smooth, like, Anita Baker's, like, I have a sweet side. It's and you should be allowed to do all that, because that's the others. And honestly, sometimes that's the industry. The industry wants to really, really put you in a box.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really American.
Yeah, because they know how to sell you. They know how to package you.
Yeah, because any of you that have traveled outside of the States, you see, like, nobody else puts you in box. They just are like, what do you do? Oh, that's cool.
Right. Come through.
Right.
You go sing in front of crowds in Spain, and they don't even speak what you speak, but they're like every single.
Right.
I got to go to Japan, and I'm like, I know 2 words in Japanese. Like,
right.
And we were singing in English, and they were here for all of it. But then they were also here, like, that festival also had, like, Janelle Monáe and Sia and Gary Clark Jr. and then, like, EDM bands I'd never heard of. Like, it had everything, and everybody was there for, like, they were so excited about every single artist. And I was like, it's cool. That is
I'm
cool.
here for that.
And people are allowed to go just be the artist that they want to be. I mean, I understand why people go overseas to especially if you're going to do jazz. Like, here it's not going to be able to be developed the way you want it to. But, like, we should all be celebrating everybody's artistry in that way, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
And can we just rewind back the part where you said you was in Japan on a festival with Sia and Janelle Monáe?
Exactly. I ain't been in no festival in Japan. Okay. You better get it.
She said, other people were there, like Janelle and Sia.
I mean, we were a very small band on it, but whatever. I was still there.
You were still there.
You were
it's called Fuji Rock. It's called Fuji Rock, and it's
Fuji Rock.
near Mount Fuji, and it's one of the biggest festivals in the world. Yeah, everybody goes there. But the thing is, and when I tell you, it was the cleanest, most polite, like, people, there was no trash anywhere. Girl, and I don't ever go down on the floor, like on the ground in front of the stage. Like, it's too much. I like to see crowds. I don't like to be in them. Right. So, but when my friend and I were like, we gotta see Janelle, like, from front and center. Like we need to go,
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
And we were there, and everybody kind of was leaving space. And then as the show started, everyone kind of like took a few steps forward, and we were packed. But I still had room to dance. Nobody was in
your space.
I was like, okay, Japan.
Right.
Right. I see you.
Yes.
And just like crazy stuff. And it's huge. I mean, there's like, I think over the weekend, I think they had like 700,000 people. I don't remember. It was like, it's a massive festival. And like I just told you, not a speck of trash on the ground. Everybody was there for I mean, I was like, I didn't know if anybody knew us, and all of every stage that we played at 2 different stages. Both of them sold out.
Yes,
and
girl.
And it was raining on our outdoor set, like raining.
Oh no!
Cats and dogs. People just pulled out their ponchos, put on their galoshes, and they're like, "Cool,
good to go."
And they was telling, yeah.
I love it.
So I know I've heard lots of musicians be like, "Japan's awesome." I get it. I get it.
Right.
They're totally for it, and that was. I mean, we took a day to like walk around the festival because I wanted to see. I want to see what it was like, and it was just great. But yeah, that was another. I've been wanting to go to Japan for years, and I can't wait to go back. I'm just going to put that out in the universe. I can't wait to go back.
It's going to happen.
I'm going to go back. But yeah, that was, and I do remember walking backstage though to get to this spot, and we walked by the tent where all Janelle Monáe's like crew was, and it was all these very burly black men. And my friend and I, she's actually the other singer on the Aretha thing, Adrienne with the big old blonde afro.
That was her name. Yes.
But we walked by. That whole tent was like watching us walk. Like, can y'all be more obvious? I know that.
Okay.
We here.
Welcome. Okay.
Right. I love that.
But the cool thing was, we stood in the middle, and this Black American woman came from, I don't know where she came from, but I felt this hand on my shoulder. And it was this woman, she was like, I just wanted to come have some, like, a black girl magic moment with y'all. And I was like,
that's right.
We were in a sea of Japanese and, like, whoever people. And she somehow saw us, came to us, and we had a little moment. Like, we just hugged her. And we were like,
girl, we would have done the same. Yes.
Right.
It was the best. But yeah, if anybody has the chance to go to anywhere in Japan, besides the fact that the food's amazing, people are really cool, and they really do appreciate music in a way that I wasn't ready for. I wasn't ready for it, but like I'm ready for it now.
Hey,
I love it.
Can we just have all the trips in 2021?
All the trips, honey.
Yeah,
we have so many plans to leave the country this year.
We sure did.
Oh. Have y'all been dreaming? I feel like I have been dreaming about traveling. Like, have y'all?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
I've been dreaming. I'm packing bags. I'm like getting on planes. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go do this. Like because I think everything in my soul is like, I need it. I miss it. I need it.
Yeah.
I think if I did, I'd wake up crying. I'd be crying every morning. Right. I'm still here.
I know you're like, it wasn't real.
Right. I'm not in Paris.
Right. It'd be like Dorothy waking up in the Wizard of Oz.
Girl.
Right.
Daddy.
Back in Kansas, dang.
This is not lit. This is not lit.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, sis.
No, I wanted to go back to what we were talking about before, just a little bit about the boxes and how you were saying it was like an American thing. And I think, a lot of this starts with the music education as kids. When you are, interested in an instrument, it's like, this is your instrument, this is your genre, this is what you can do. And when you get into private lessons, jazz and R&B and anything was never an option for me. It was, you need to study these Galamian scales, you need to study this Carl Flesch book, you need to study Kreutzer, you need to, it was these things that you have to do, and then you need to play these concertos and these sonatas. And when I got to it's echoing so bad. Uh-oh. Did you?
My headphones died. That was me. I'm sorry.
I was like, "Oh, what happened?" Sorry. And then when you get to college, and you start feeling like, there's some other genres, and I'm learning now about different musicians who play my instrument in a different way. Now it's sacrilegious to play that, and so I know you're an educator. So I'm just kind of segueing into this question of, the way you teach your students, and like how important do you feel like with your students? Are you like encouraging them to like do everything? I'm sure that you are, but do you have students that come to you that are like, no, I only want to do this, or I only want to do that? And those students who do that, do you encourage them to do something else?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely on both. I definitely have students that come to me and they're like, I do that. Like, for example, I had one student, she was younger, but she's like, I only sing Disney songs. And I was sure.
Okay.
Because that's the only genre there is, apparently.
Because that's the
okay. And so, you know, we started there, and then I'd be like, oh, this part of the song reminds me of this other song. Have you heard this? Let's listen to a snippet of this really quick. And she's like, oh, that's cool. I've never heard of this artist. And so I use it that way because there's always a sense of familiarity that people are scared of leaving, but they think that only this thing will give them that sense of familiarity. So I try to find those links.
Yeah.
You know, you only want to sing country? Same. Well, this song's kind of bluesy.
Yeah.
You know, and that, you know, you can actually, there's this other artist that does a similar thing, you know, or even like some of my college students, that can be harder because, you know, and again, you get in college, like you do have to have a repertoire that you're supposed to do. But I do have one student who is very much just like, it's all like late 90s, early 2000s R&B. Like that's all he wants to do.
Right.
I'm like, how about let's at least listen to the people that informed.
Come on.
That influence. So, yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Okay, give him a little tap in the grass. No.
Right. Have you heard of Marvin Gaye? And he's like, no. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh,
right. By the way, like, that's the thing. With these kids, you realize how young they are when they don't realize, like, oh, Marvin Gaye. Like, you have to explain.
They don't know. You have to,
the influence.
Who the pioneers were. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, you're black though. Like,
right. Like I need you.
Right.
I'm sad. I need to talk to your parents because I feel like they should have told you. But but it's like, okay, your parents didn't. I will do that.
Right.
You know, while you know, there's also, but I do that. I don't just. You know, obviously I don't just do that with
That's
my
probably what makes you a dope teacher, though.
Yes, and we need more teachers like you.
I hope. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I would love to see is more teachers of color, especially in higher education.
Yes.
But specifically in higher education music.
Absolutely.
I had black voice teachers in college, but I sought them out. And I'd go on websites and be like, who's teaching? What do they look like? Cool. I'm going to find it. But I know a lot of people don't have that opportunity because they're not prevalent.
Right.
And that's
they're not.
Why?
Right.
Why is that? You know, especially in the jazz community, like, really?
I know.
Girl, we can have a whole dissertation on white folks in jazz, but that's a whole other.
It's okay. You can.
Right.
Part two.
Part two, exactly.
But yeah, I agree. There need to be more. You do get pigeonholed when you decide to train or educate yourself in it because they just put everything in categories and also categories of good and bad because this category is good. I mean, how many classical teachers did you have that didn't want you? I mean, especially me studying opera, like I was also in the jazz ensembles. My voice teacher was like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you want to sing jazz? Right. I'm like, and she was black too. And I was like, excuse me, didn't you just tell me you went to see Natalie Cole last week? Like,
like, girl, don't try it.
Yes.
Yeah, all of them until I got fortunate enough in college to finally have a teacher that was like, you're great at it. Go do it. But I always think like if I had not had him and had he not let me, because in my mind I needed permission.
Right.
And that was the problem. And I think that music education really needs to change. I mean, like you said, when we were younger, there were only a handful of schools who had alternative programs like that. And then I didn't know about Berkeley when I was 18. I didn't know about some of the other schools. And that was really it. You had to just go to a school and learn classical. So I think things are changing. A lot of schools are creating more alternative music programs. But I think especially for certain instruments that are just automatically pigeonholed into a specific genre. Yeah, absolutely. There needs to be a wider range of education for those. Because
quick question for you. Did you feel like you were being asked to break a mold? Because sometimes I felt like I was like the example of a black, I was I was the token.
Yeah, the
black
token.
singer, black singer that could sound the way that they wanted me to and behave the right way and had good grades and all that. Did you ever feel that when you were in school, like, or studying with whoever?
Yeah. It was like, wow, I got the black student who's playing classical. Like, girl, you gotta stay in this genre because, like, you know, and even outside of that, it just was, regardless of who you were and what your race was, it was just sacrilegious. That's the word they use. Sacrilegious to play different genres outside of classical on your violin.
Wow.
And I think it was like a very deep thing. What are you going to say, Carrie?
Am I still echoing?
No, you're good.
No, go ahead.
Okay, good. And I was gonna say, I think, like, you know, with the tokenization, especially of like young, like the younger musicians of color, they tend to find themselves like competing with each other and like kind of pitting each other, like the parents or the teachers pit them against each other, and it's frustrating because I'm just like, that's toxic. Like they should be collaborating, working together, seeing how they can help each other out rather than like trying to be the best black, you know, classical musician.
Yeah, because there's only room for one. Like they make it seem like there's only room for one of you.
Right.
It's never true.
Apparently.
It's not true. Like you get out of school and you're like, oh, there's a whole bunch of us.
There's a whole bunch of us.
Right.
So many of us. And that's great.
That's
great. I mean, I think the music world is competitive.
Exactly.
Just anyway.
Period.
I think that's a problem. Like we're more competitive than we are supportive. Again, that's a topic for another day too. But I totally, I think you're right. They pit us against each other. I mean, I'm a singer. They pit us against each other anyway.
Girl, listen. Which is so ridiculous. I know.
Yeah. Like people are like, oh, I've heard such. She's real good. Do you know her? You should probably see what she's doing because I really love her. Like, cool. So do I.
Right.
Right, exactly.
We're all fans.
You're a fan, cool.
Right.
She's actually a really good friend of mine. Do you want me to call her right now?
Exactly.
This is not a competition, Sam. Like I'm there when in front of her singing and cheering her on.
Cheering her
on. So it's like
exactly.
The only reason I, you know, like when I finally was able, because I had heard about you, but when I was finally able to see you in person was because you were performing with Such that day, and I was like, yo,
killing
Kim Dawson, y'all need to know about this chick over here.
Thank you. I mean, that was a joy too, just because I got to pick some of my favorite people who have some of my favorite voices that I thought would do justice to Aretha, because you gotta have, I mean, it's Aretha. You gotta have the right voices, and you have to have the right attitude. And I was like, 100%. These 4 women got it. And I feel like we were all kind of different parts of her, too. You know, Adriana was blonde hair. She was like the showman. She's so emotional and everything. You know, and like, Such is like the storyteller. It's going to be like, you know, she's
going to talk to you for a minute.
Right. And then Jocelyn's like the technician she can do all things possible with her voice. Joe Folky can do everything. That's another girl that I've known since we were in high school, by the way. That's one of them.
Shout out to Joe Folky.
And then I was just on stage bossing people around, which is another part of it. Right. I'm like, I was I was a musical director, so I was like singing, but I was also like making sure like everybody's cutoffs were, you know, like that was my job. And that Aretha was very much that on stage too. So I feel like we all got to be different parts of her and present a good thing and really bring something that I think people didn't, because I hate those like half-assed tributes. And I didn't want to do that.
Yes.
I didn't want to do that. And I also didn't want to like run, like I'm going to run around the country with my Aretha Franklin tribute. It's like, no, I had some emotions about her death. I put it into the stage, you know, the performance, and then I'm good. Like, that's it. That's what it is. I'll let Jennifer Hudson do all the rest.
Is that right?
She can play her in the movie, do the things. Go ahead.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely, sis. So so thank you. Listen, thank you for breaking all the beats down, dropping all the wisdom. How can we support you? We always want to make sure that we get, you know, the people watching to get their dollars, their love, their ears to what you're doing. So tell us how we can support you.
Yeah, I have lots of stuff on Spotify and iTunes. So look up Matador Soul Sound, and then just Kim Dawson, and you can, I mean, and then if you want to send people to me, if you need to touch up on your voice, like, it doesn't have to be a weekly thing. I've been helping a lot of professionals just even seeing like, oh, cool, like, try these things and like, and then we'll go from there. Or like working with bands to help tighten up their harmonies or something. Yes. Like I can do that. So hit me up on kimdawsonmusic.com. And
are you
when we're able to play again.
Are you doing any streaming shows coming up? Online shows?
Actually, yeah. Let's see. Do I have any coming up? Well, I have something this evening after this is done.
That's cool. Yes. Where can people go?
Excuse-moi.
So, go to nugs.tv, nugs.tv. There was this guy puts together this band called Everyone Orchestra, and he just takes people from all kinds of bands and puts them together, and basically it's all improvised music. So he found a way to do it virtually. So we all kind of like did our parts and put it together. But this band is all women.
What?
So
love it.
Yeah. So I was excited to be part of it. So it'll be 7:30 our time. So soon.
So 9:30
Eastern. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just cool. I think we did like 4 songs, and I just had like a little verse or like it was interesting. It was a lot of work, but cool. So that's the next streaming thing I'm doing.
Nice.
You guys can still look up Justice Comes Alive. That was one that I did, and I had my single, and I did a Nina Simone tune as well on that.
I saw that. Girl, you sang that for women, honey. Yes.
And that was an emotional one. I was like, I had to do very few takes because I kept crying. But it's like, yeah, and that was like my first time singing in a while, and I think that just my soul needed that. Like my ancestors were coming through, and
yes.
But yeah, so I've been contacted about a few other virtual things. So if I have some stuff, I always put it up on my Facebook, on my Instagram, on my website, all that stuff. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And when we're able to play live again, please, I want to see all your faces.
Yes.
Let's do it.
And we got to make it happen, make some magic together, some music together, and just, love on each other. So thank you. And that's probably me out. But thank you so much for your love, for your time, for giving of yourself today. Kill it tonight.
Yes, I know
you're gonna crush it. So y'all, if y'all don't know who Kim Dawson is, please make sure you find out. Okay, look her up, support her.
Yes,
and let's just continue to look out for each other. So and thank you for being here with us on the
Sip. Thank you so much.
Next Friday at 5 p.m. You can check us out on Instagram at @thesip_podcast or on thesippodcast.com. So thank y'all for your support.
Absolutely.
Much love to y'all.
Next week we're interviewing Such.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Much love.
Peace.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.